If you are listening to this episode before the 31st of August 2026, I want to invite you to the Pricing Blueprint, a live class for photographers in business. And if you find yourself second guessing every quote, sitting on inquiries because you just don't know what number to write, or discounting just to win a job instead of making a profit, this class is for you. So stop playing small, build pricing that you can stand behind, and learn to communicate it with confidence. This class is happening on the 31st of August, $27. Save your seat. The link will be in the show notes. Welcome to the Photo Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Grace Costa, a photographer of over 2 decades and a business and marketing mentor for commercial photographers. If you're looking to build a booked out business and become an in-demand photographer who is respected and valued, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Let's open the latest diary. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Let's see if I can record this episode successfully in the 10 minutes I have before I have to go and do school pickup. So here we go. Today we're going to talk about, are you asking for the sale? Really important topic. But before we dive in, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by the Photographers Only Mentorship. If you want to join this community, please head to the link in the show notes to find out more and to find out if it's right for you. We would love to have you on board. All right. Are you asking for the sale? So what brought me to this episode was recently I saw a local cafe in like a shopping mall, not those big shopping malls, but like the smaller suburban ones. Anyway, inside the entrance of the cafe, there was a small table with handmade jewelry sitting on top. And there was no signage to say whether it was for sale, who had made it, what the jewelry's doing there, but it was all nicely placed on a tablecloth on this tiny little table inside the entrance. Now, educated people who've seen this before will assume that the stuff is for sale. They will assume that if they like something, they can pick it up, take it to the front counter and purchase it. But for people not in the know, there is no clear indication that these little jewels and little bracelets and trinkets and things were actually for sale. So what's the point of it being there if it's not clear that you are asking for money to buy one of these things? On a second occasion, if you are an Australian-based person listening to this, you will see often people standing at the front of these shopping centres with a bucket asking for donations. Well, one of my local areas has a guy who's often standing in front of the door with a bucket. The problem is, the bucket doesn't really have an identification on it. It just has a sticker that says one word, life. That means nothing to me. It doesn't tell me if he's a charity collecting money for a good cause. It doesn't tell me if he's some father collecting money to put bread on the table for his family. It doesn't tell me if he's a big business. He's not wearing a t-shirt with any logos or identification. He just stands there every time I go past, just sometimes smiling, sometimes not, never saying anything. I think English is his second language. He looks like a foreigner. And he just stands there with a bucket, hoping people will know what to do with the bucket. And this is such a roadblock. If you are not asking for the sale, people will assume that you don't want the money. And this plays out with photographers in business. Recently, I've been doing some website reviews for photographers in my community. And I have seen on many occasions photographers not asking for the sale. This looks like not having clear call to action buttons on the homepage, on any of the pages, to be honest. A call to action button needs to say what you want them to do. It doesn't necessarily have to ask for the sale right away, but it does have to invite them to the next step. Is the next step to give you a call? Is the next step to fill out this form? Is the next step to find out more and get a quote? Is the next step to see prices? Is it to look at the gallery? This is all asking for the sale, not directly, but it's still asking for a sale because you're inviting the customer to take the next step with you. Another way we're not asking for the sale is when we are posting on social media. I know we all get lazy and sometimes we just want to post something and just run away and rest. But if you're posting and you're not asking for the sale, this looks like chucking up some portfolio images or a recent photo shoot you did with a client, hardly saying anything in the caption, and definitely not asking them to do anything after you've posted this on social media. If you're not inviting them with a call to action in the caption, that's also not asking for the sale. A way to do that in your captions is to invite them to look at your pricing, invite them to inquire with you, invite them to engage in some way. If you've asked them a question inside the caption, that can be a way to ask for the sale indirectly. But when it comes to social media, you actually have to ask for what you want. And if you want them to pay you to book you to do a shoot, then you need to ask for that. You need to spell it out. You need to say, you need to basically put your ticket price on the jewelry stand, on the jewelry table to say these are for sale. And that's saying that you are open for business. Where on your social media are you telling people that you're open for business? On your Instagram stories? So often I see photographers just post up or repost something from their feed onto their stories without anything attached to it. There's no links, there's no information. You could put a one-liner saying now open for bookings, or I don't know, say something more important than that. But you basically want to say something along with your images or a repost from your feed. You want to tell people what to do. You want to ask people what you want. Ask for what you want. And this is not rude. This is business because people are not going to assume what you want. And I see this so often. Even when family photographers are posting for mini sessions, they just like will put up the photo and they'll say, book here, mini, Christmas Day minis, book here. Yes, that is asking for the sale, but it's also making a lot of assumptions. It's making a lot of assumptions. They know who you are. They've worked with you before. They know how this works. You kind of can't assume anymore. And you have to be more direct when you're asking for the sale on social media or on your website. And be direct more than once. You actually nowadays have to ask for the sale over and over repeatedly because people might see it once and think that looks like a good idea. Then they get distracted, they don't actually take any action, or they didn't read it properly, or there was nothing there to read. So your job is to make it plain and simple and make their job easy to book with you, to inquire with you, to do whatever it is you need to make the sale. You need to take that, make that step super simple, one click button for them to do that. If you do have an inquiry button on your social media, say it was your Instagram stories, for instance, and they click on it, that button needs to ensure that it is just one step away from making a sale for you or for, inquiring with you. If you are making them jump through multiple hoops and it's too hard, then they won't do it. They won't give you their money. They won't book with you and they'll just find somebody else. Now, when it comes to blogging, this is another opportunity for photographers to ask for the sale. So often I see photographers blog about recent photo shoots. And this is nice, but inside of that, there's no value for a visitor to come to that blog post aside from looking at pretty pictures. Why do they care about the recent wedding you shot or the recent family photos? They don't know that person. What's their reason to care? So leveraging that blog post, making it more informative for them, and then within the copy, not just once, but try it twice to ask for the sale. Put a booking link there, put a pricing link there, ask them to take the next step with you. And you need to make that bold inside the blog post so that they can clearly see it and they know where to go if they are interested in working with you. Make it simple once again. And the blog post is a area that's, an opportunity for you to ask for the sale. So from here going forward, I only have a few minutes left before I have to go and do school pickup. But going forward, ask yourself, how am I asking for the sale? Next time you post to social media and you're writing the caption, am I asking for the sale, or am I just writing pointless information that nobody cares about? Don't be afraid to ask for the sale over and over again, because you basically have to tell people what to do. Don't assume anybody knows that jewelry on the little table inside the cafe is for sale. Don't assume that the man standing at the door with a bucket is collecting donations for a charity. People are too scared to hand over things these days without more information. So don't be the roadblock to cause people not to book you or not to pay you money to work with you. Also, I want you to make sure that you're making it easy for people to buy from you. This looks like quick, easy links, Square setups, or Stripe, or PayPal, whatever links you use, or whatever your Honeybooks is, or Studio Ninja. Make it super simple for people to give you money. They don't want barriers. They don't want things to take longer than they should. They want it to be streamlined, and there is so much competition out there in this photography industry. You want to stand out amongst the others. You want to make it simple for people to buy from you, and you want to show people that you're ready for the sale. All right, that's all I have to say about that. If you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to me. And I've got to go do school pickup now. So I hope you enjoyed that episode and you got something out of it. Super fast one. But until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode. That's it for today's episode. If you found it valuable, I invite you to leave a review so more people can find this podcast, or simply subscribe to be notified when each new episode drops. Until next time, see you later.